welcome. And as you can see in the upper left hand corner, welcome to Minecraft Beta 1.8. The official release is now out as of, I believe Notch tweeted it at about 4:50 a.m. Wednesday morning. Yes, right, 4:50 a.m. Wednesday morning. And the Minecraft.net server was down for a couple of hours, and by a little bit after 6 o'clock a.m. I was able to get it. And the first thing I did was, of course, I made a full backup of everything before doing the download. And so I opened up this world in Minecraft 1.8, and I immediately came here to this tower and decided to do some testing. Also, you'll note that some of the lighting bugs have yet to be fixed. But right away I noticed two things, and I'll get to that as soon as I get to the bottom of this ladder. I'll cut to it. Alright, this is the view that I'm accustomed to with the addition of the new torch lighting effect, which is fine. It's actually kind of nice. I like it. And you'll notice that standing here next to the ladder, you can see all the way across the room, which is reasonable because this room has got a lot of torches in it. Now, take a few steps away from the ladder. Note my clock that it is midday. Take a few steps away from the ladder, and all of a sudden we have this incredible fog that allows you to see a maximum of about, I think it's 12 to 16 blocks, regardless of the enormous amount of lighting that is in use here. This is unacceptable, in my opinion. Now, I have tried various render settings. Let's see. All right, let's have a look at the render settings. Video settings, render distance. I'll go ahead and turn it to far, which I don't usually do, and I will turn the brightness setting all the way up. And you'll notice that that god-awful fog is still there until you get within a certain distance of a source of light from outside. Get away from that outside light, say for example in a branch mine tunnel. Let's have a look. There you go. Looking down the branch mine tunnel. The torches on the left side of the left wall are 4 blocks apart. Torch, 1, 2, 3, torch, 1, 2, 3, torch, all the way down. As you note, you can only see 4 torches. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm accustomed to being able to see a considerably further distance than that. This fog, I don't think it adds anything to the game. I don't believe it adds even the least little bit of fun to the game at all. And frankly, I think that it needs to be fixed. It needs to be either be made optional or removed, or frankly, this would be one of two things that would make me decide to use a mod. The other thing I found out when I came up here onto the killing floor of the mob tower. You'll note the water streams, the way they look. There is no water spilling over the edges there and so on. And everything's working perfectly fine. I came up here and I switched it to hard difficulty as the way I usually run it. And I waited. And within 5 minutes, two of these drop shafts were filled with a flood of water caused by water streams up above not working right all of a sudden. There is only one reason for that. Endermen moving player-placed blocks. This is another thing that if it doesn't get fixed, I would use a mod to fix it, because endermen have no need to be moving player-placed blocks. I recall not saying that they weren't going to do that in one of the PAX live streams. And so I consider this a major bug. And because of that, I am, right now, for the first time in the entire history of this LP series, playing on peaceful mode. And I'm going to stay on peaceful until I'm far enough away that my main structures, this mob tower, the main base, and so on, are unlooted and therefore will not be molested by endermen. And so there you have it. 1.8 is here. There's a lot of good about it, but there is at least two things that I very dearly do not like, even a little bit. I don't think they add fun or realism to the game at all, and I seriously believe that these things need to be fixed. Anyway, having said all that, the work that I was doing on the chicken spawner is, well, the passive mob system. That's what I was thinking of. Pardon me, it is 6:30 in the morning. The work that I was doing on that is going to be put on hold because, like everybody else, I want to get to these 1.8 areas and have a look at what we've got going on here. So it's time to quit farting around and get this thing in gear. Alright. Let's start out with bunch of iron and get some track made. Do I have wood here? No, it doesn't seem that I do. Not enough to do that. Okay, not a problem. In fact, I'm also going to take some advice that Hypno gave. I am going to convert these iron ingots into iron blocks just to simply be able to move more of them in a smaller space. The shift click for inventory to chests is great, but it doesn't work with the crafting table. Apparently shift right click does work in 1.8. That's good. I was hoping that feature would make it in. Alright. Okay, just recovering from a crash. I think it had something to do with what I was just doing in this chest, so pardon me for not shift clicking. I think that may have had something to do with the crash. Not sure, don't want to take a chance. Alright, I'm just going to ditch these things here so that I have enough storage room, I hope, for another 9 ingots. 9 stacks, excuse me. Alright. There is a considerable amount of lag, and also I have changed my render distance back down to short, just simply because far is entirely too much for my computer. And when there's a lot going on, even normal can be too much. That's good. Alrighty. Close the door. Alright, I'm going to grab some daylight and we'll head over to the main base. Alright. Definitely some serious lighting glitches. Let's see. Well, planting and removing a torch seems to have fixed that. No. It's still happening in places. Oh well, I'm not going to worry about it right now. Because, believe me, I am just as anxious to get out to 1.8 territory as I'm sure all of you are. Okay. No cart. Let's just walk it. Alright, let's see if I can remove this torch, replace it. Will that fix the lighting glitch? No, it doesn't. Alright. Get some logs out here and start making some track. Let's see, I don't believe I'm going to need the repeaters or the redstone. I will be needing the redstone torches. Alright. Alright, that's handy. Okay. Alright. That's a decent amount of track to start with at the very least. And it occurs to me that I didn't bring over any gold for making powered rails, so I'm going to cut out and go get that and be right back. Alright, I think I got everything in order now. I also picked up the contents of one chest of cooked pork chops, and it's beautiful. Now you don't need a whole double chest to hold all that pork chops. They actually do stack to 64. Alright. Next order of business is to get some powered rails going. And I don't know how many I'm going to need here, so I'll just start out like that. Yes, I know I'm doing it the old way. There. That ought to be enough powered rail to get a good long way. So I'll take the leftover gold and just stash it here. And for the moment, these blocks of iron will stay here so that there's room to work here. And some of these extra sticks, I am going to make up some more redstone torches, just to be sure. I'd rather have a few extra than not have enough. Alright. Carry one stack of sticks extra, some redstone dust. Okay, let's get this arranged. Alright, I'm going to get my inventory set up and arranged, and then I will get out there and start laying track. And because I'm quite sure that everybody watching is just as anxious to get to the good stuff in 1.8 land as I am, I'm going to fast forward the whole thing until we get to that area, just to speed up some of the tedium here. Fast forward, and probably a cut too. Alrighty. Alright. Well, that's about as far as I can get with the cobblestone that I have. So I'm going to go back, get several stacks of cobblestone, and as a matter of fact, I'm going to bring a bunch of it out here, set up a few chests over here along the side of the track, and get this track extended, and so on, and I'll get back to you when I've gotten there. Because I'm recovering from a crash, just have a quick note. Shift clicking into or out of shift clicking into a full chest or shift clicking into a full inventory will cause a saving chunks crash. So you don't want to do that. Shift click all you want, but when the thing starts to get full, stop and do it slower. Alright, I have finished a lot of my running around and gathering materials. There's a chest down that way where the track ends that contains all of the track pieces plus the minecart to ride back to the station whenever necessary. This chest contains an extra load of cobblestone. Plus, I have considerable cobblestone in my inventory. I'm quite sure that between these two loads of it, it ought to be enough to get to someplace in 1.8 land. And so now, I am going to commence laying the track bed. And I'm going to go ahead and fast forward to the point where I start to see signs of 1.8. I will note that these islands right here is about the farthest east I have ever come on this map, so theoretically it shouldn't take me more than 3 or 4 stacks of cobblestone to find new country. We'll see. I'll fade back in when I've gotten there. Alright, I have come 4 stacks of cobble east of my previous position by that chest of cobblestone, and I see certain indicators. A clearly, very unmistakably sharp border here that tells me that I am now moving into 1.8 country. I'm going to continue forward at least another 2 stacks of cobblestone. Less if I find something interesting on the landscape, like an NPC village or a ravine or something like that. We'll see. In the meantime, I'm going to keep plugging along, like I said, for at least another 2 stacks of cobblestone. I'll check in with you when I see something interesting. Alright, I have come another 2 stacks of cobble, so I'm now 6 stacks from where the track ends. And I decided to spend the night here and wait for dawn just to get a better look around at what I'm moving into. And it looks to me like we've come through some plains, and that these plains are giving way to swamp. And you can tell the swamp because you see trees in the shallow water with vines. So I'm going to go ahead and proceed this way, at least another 2, probably 3 stacks of cobble, and see what I can see. Well, I am now a grand total of 9 stacks of cobble east of the end of the track. And what I can see around me now is what appears to be seemingly almost endless swamp that extends in every direction as far as the eye can see. I'm going to go 3 more stacks of cobble and see what I can see. I'm hoping that it won't be quite as endless as it looks like. I can't honestly imagine an NPC village or anything like that showing up in a swamp. Abandoned mine shafts, more than likely, and other things like that, yes, but an NPC village, I can't imagine why one would be built anywhere near a swamp, let alone in one. So I'll catch you in 3 stacks of cobble. Alright, this is my 3rd sunrise on this expedition so far, and I have now come a total of 12 stacks of cobblestone east of the end of the track, and it looks like the seemingly endless swamp is beginning to give way to some actual land. And so what I'm going to do is take it a little bit farther east, and then I'm going to come back over here and jump in the water, go that way, and build a ramp up to the track and get a little station shack built, and then go back and start laying track. Alrighty, and I'll catch up with you when I've got the track out this way, and then we can start actually exploring 1.8 country. And as you can probably tell, we are arriving at the new station shack, the 1.8 station shack, whatever you want to call it. And all I need to do now is get the track pieces going down the ramp and into the station, and we're in business. And I'm going to go ahead and get that done, and I'll catch up with you. Alright, the track is completed, and I realized that this little stationette thing doesn't look very much like anything, and it needs things like windows, a door, and various other things like some chests and a workbench and so on, and it'll have that. And right now I'm going to give this thing an inaugural ride. I won't be using the push button launcher because I didn't bring a push button. And no. Okay, so I'm just gonna do the old traditional drop it, bump it, and run. And we'll take this thing back there and pick up the materials we need, drop off the extra track that I don't need. Turns out I made way too much, but that's okay, I'll use it eventually. It is an impressive area, and it looks like that, well, you can't see them now because we just pulled too far away, but it looks like the beginnings of some mountains often, I guess it's the southeast direction from the station. And I think it was probably a good decision to not actually record the whole laying down of the track bed and the track thing because, well, for one thing, it would have been long and repetitive even when sped up. And also, Minecraft crashed on me no less than 6 times during the laying of the track bed and the track. So I'm thinking that sometime within a day or two we're going to see a 1.8_01. Any bets? No bets. I'm absolutely certain that this is going to happen. Now, as for the fact that I've been playing on peaceful since the beginning of this, I've decided that what I'm going to do is to set a kind of a boundary, and I think it's going to be right around here where I'm exiting the 1.7 and before generated terrain and entering into 1.8 terrain, that any closer than where I am right now to the main base, and I'm going to be unpeaceful because I don't want endermen spawning around there and ruining stuff that I have spent a lot of time and effort and material to build. And I'm going to continue that policy until such time as the endermen are fixed, either by Notch, Jeb, or a modder. And once going the other direction, of course, once I'm into 1.8 territory, I'll switch back to hard difficulty like I've been playing. But I'm not going to allow any opportunity for endermen to spawn in this area until they don't do some of the things that they do, like take my buildings apart. I don't believe they're supposed to do that, and I very much look forward to when they don't do that. Okay, let's put this track away. We're not going to need it. Alright. Alright, now head down below. And start picking up things to take with us. Alright. Smooth stone. We need a button, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of other uses for it as well. I don't think I need to bring a little bit of sticks. Alright. Okay. Workbench. Logs. Mushroom soups. Stews, whatever. Diamonds. Coal. Bed. TNT. Glass, of course. Glowstone. A door. And I think that's going to be it for this trip. Okay, yeah, I think so. There's going to be at least, well, let's see, at least 2 more trips to pick up all of that. Plus, I have some things that I left in one of the chests along the way that I'm going to want to pick that up as well. Once all that stuff has been moved, then I don't believe there will be too much back and forth, because there is a lot of 1.8 to explore. And we're off. And yes, this is very laggy right now. Alright. Go ahead and get there, and well, I'll catch you when we get there, and we'll start getting things set up, and I'll come back for probably another 2 trips to pick up stuff. Alright, we've arrived. Now let's start unpacking a few things here, and we'll start with the old workbench. And I think need to get some things out of this inventory, so let's just start out with make some chests, or a chest, whatever, to get started with. Alright, now we can get some of this stuff put away. I'll arrange everything all nice and neat the way I like it later. Right now, let's just get it put away. Alright, let's see here. How about a door and a little bit of glass? Alright. And now we'll satisfy my ever-present need to be able to see what's going on, and we'll put in some windows. And I think something else I'm going to build is going to be a moat. Alright. Okay, let's torch up the door. Get at least a few torches out here in the area. I'll have to do a much better job of torching up later on. But some of that is going to wait until I have more torches. I notice an abundance of brown mushrooms around here. I wonder if there's any red. Alright. Alright. Not the greatest arrangement just yet, but it'll get there. In the meantime, let's see. Get the bed set up. Alright. Okay. That should take care of that need. And now, I think I'm going to take a ride out to those chests and pick up more of the stuff. Oh, wait a minute. Let's get a push button for starting this. Alright. I'm westward bound to pick up the rest of that stuff at the main base, and as much of what I can out of the chests along the way. And I'll catch you when I get back. Alright, I managed to pick up just about everything I think there's going to be any possible need for. And so this will be the second and only trip back for a while. One last look at where the main base would be if we could see that far, and that's it. We won't be going back for a while, I don't think. We're going to be exploring this adventure in 1.8, and we'll see what's going on with that. And in the meantime, now that we're far enough away that the main base is no longer loaded and therefore not affected, we're switching back to the way we're supposed to do this. I have figured out that one thing I'm going to start building around structures is a moat. It only has to be 1 block deep of water, and maybe 2 or 3 blocks wide. But since the endermen take damage in water, I think it is only logical that one should include water in the design of buildings that you don't want endermen to be griefing. At least until such time as endermen griefing player-placed blocks and so on is fixed. And I do sincerely believe that that does need to be fixed. That and that lighting issue when you're going way deep on the map. I don't consider that fog to be even remotely fun. And I hope enough people make that clear to Notch and convince him to change that little alleged feature. Alright. Put some of this away. And like I said, I'll pretty this up off camera later on. Alright, so here we are at our 1.8 advanced base, and we have essentially a whole new world to explore. What we'll find, nobody knows, but it is guaranteed to be quite the adventure, I'm sure. Like, for example, I'm going to be very interested in checking out the mountain ranges that I saw over this way. It looks like the beginning of some kind of a mountain range or something, because the terrain starts to get a lot more hill-like and so on off in this way, and the presence of pine trees, those generally only occur in snow biomes, if I'm not mistaken, so perhaps this is supposed to be a snow biome. What do we have here? Not very much. Okay. Well, it's lit up. All right. We have a lot to look forward to, a lot to explore, and a few things to hope get fixed. Like, for example, the really frequent crashing of Minecraft. In the making of this video, I do believe that Minecraft has crashed at least a dozen times. I actually lost count. Alright. So in the next episode, the exploration begins. Take it easy. I'm out of here.